In this video, we're gonna review amazing games by the super talent Nihal Sarin, currently on fire in his speed chess championship. Now, if you can look here, Nihal Sarin is a top junior along with Eraigasi, Arjun, Firouzja, Abdusaturov, and Gukesh and Pragg. You can see on screen the talent. Of course, there's a lot of super talent in India, and these are the names to remember for the future. Now, let's go to game 1. I'm gonna first show game with the white pieces. Nihal likes to play the London system. Knight f3, bishop f4, and d4. It follows with e3, c3, knight d2. So let's see a game here with the white pieces. Which is all very standard. So the bishop's gonna come here, c3, which is our theory. So now, in this situation, it takes on c5. Now, because of the pin with the bishop here, black had to take with the queen. Now, logical, Nihal opened in the center. Lot of exchanges. And now we're on move 14. And Nihal is an expert in this system. So, what would you do now with black? Feel free to pause the video. So, one idea would be to take on e4. But now, with the queen and the rook, you attack h7. So, h6 would be played. Now, long castle. Black would take a pawn. But now you do g4, g5, and you have a super strong attack. So here, if you do queen c5, I would do g5, then black would try to exchange the queen, you would not do exchange the queens, and now you would maybe end up in this endgame. But here, rook h1, the king here is a bit in danger, the bishop is not developed, the rooks are well coordinated, white is better. So that's why in this position, black did not take on e4 and play h6. So now, feel free to pause the video once again. What would you do with the white pieces? And I must admit that here I would think of maybe long castle or maybe g4, but the move is knight e5. That's very surprising. So, well, is he hanging a piece? Of course not, because you have bishop h7, winning the queen. Now, if black were to take here, once again, you would have a very good position like that. And we simply do rook a d1, the game would do probably bishop e8, and you have a slight plus with the white pieces. But here black play rook d8. So the game continues. Now finally on move 17, Nihal castles. And now he just develop his pieces. You can see that white has slightly better pieces compared to black. White is a little bit more active. And here, in this position, we'll move 18, black plays bishop e8, and that's the wrong move. Just the right idea would be to play b5 or maybe b6. In this situation, bishop e8 played, and now very simple, Nihal wins a pawn. Now the game continues, but this is of less interest simply because white is a pawn up, and here, let's say, the best move would be knight c5, you defend b3, if you exchange, you have better pieces, you're gonna convert because you have a passed pawn. So once again here, I don't want to go further, I want to go to another game. The star move of the game, very surprising, knight e5. Showing Nihal is very aware of tactical moves in any positions. Let's go to the next game. And once again, we have d4 on the first move. and very soon bishop f4, a London system, trademark system by Nihal Sarin. Now we continue the game. Notice that we always do this very standard construction for white. And now we have a key position on move 11. Feel free to pause the video. What would you do with white? So here, if I were to be left at my own device, I would probably do knight e5 and then do f4, and then the game would continue something like that. But here, interestingly, Nihal goes for a3. So now this is very interesting. Let's say that there wasn't play in the game that black goes bishop g3. Now you would take like that and then do knight e5. And if the knight comes on e4, you would take, and you would have a little advantage with the white pieces. Now, in the game, black goes queen e7, kind of copying what white does. So here, what would you do with white? And only now, Nihal Sarin goes with knight e5. As the game continues, and f4. Very typical. Notice that Nihal keeps the king in the center for now. Now, black should probably take and try to do f6, and now you would do knight f3 with a normal game. But here, black decided to do queen d8 with the idea 9 e7. So let's look at the game. And here, bishop f h4. Very strong with pinning that knight. So logically, f6. So here, once again, this is very instructive. Feel free to think of how you would move forward here. Take the time you need. And here, I would think that does the knight goes to g6, or you just exchange and then continue the attack? None of the above. In this position, queen g4 played. Very interesting. The knight here can be taken. White is looking at this pawn. Now, if black were to play f5, you simply play queen h3 or queen g3, and now you have a superb knight on e5. A very nice bishop as well. This knight is gonna come here. You're doing fantastic. So in the game, black took. Check. Queen d6, and black resigned. Not only you're gonna take either like that or like this, you're threatening the knight here with the attack. The queen here is beautifully placed in d6. You are crushing with white, and black resigned. In this third example, we're still gonna see how Nihal played the same position in the London system. So this position is exactly the same as in the previous game. And once again, just like in the previous game, a3 is played. So now one of the logical moves that Stockfish 15 recommends is rook c8. In the previous game, we've seen queen e7. And here black plays 9 e7 directly, not wasting time with the queen moving. That move is actually very good, and this is the best try for black. So now e4 played. Let's see how the game evolves. So in this position, black play queen d5. Nihal says, no, I don't want to exchange the queens. Finally, move 18, we castle. And we're here. So what would you do with white once again? And here Nihal comes up with a nice idea. Queen a6. That's very nice because if the knight were to move, then you would capture on a7. But the queen can come here, maybe you can play c4. You can see that there's some pressure on the queen side. Queen b3, nice move by black. Rook d2, and here, simply white capture. You can see white is very patient, protecting b2, keeping the queen on a6, targeting the light squares. So here the right move would be rook d6. It's probably equal. Instead, black retreats and only now play rook d6. As the game continues, we see here that white has the c file, but black is targeting the d4 pawn. So this position is about equal, attacking the rook here. Now, in this position, we'll move 30. Black has played quite well, but white has a slight small pressure, a small advantage to keep trying to squeeze a better game. And here, what would you play with white? And very instructive once again. I really like Sarin played the game. a5. Of course, black cannot take because we have the queen here. So the queen moves. And now what do? Knight c6. Very nice. We're creating a pass pawn. Black defends. We take. Now, in the game, rook b6 played. On a takes b6, queen a1, queen b2, and we would have an interesting game here and a lot to play. However, here we have rook b6, queen a4, defending d4. And now this is black to play, right? So what to do here, it's probably still balanced, but you have to be careful. What would you do with black? Checking with stockfish here, either king h7, a waiting move, or king here, it's important because if the queen comes here, you don't have the pressure on the long diagonal. However, black decided to play a5. Not so great. Rook c5 played, attacking the queen and the pawn. Now the queen retreats. It was much better to move on e4 because if you take like that, now I'm doing rook c6, still an equal game. So here, black is kind of tracking under pressure. Queen takes, black captures the pawns. And now, this is the decisive moment in the game. Feel free to pause the video. What would you do here with white to play? Beautiful move. Queen c3, black resign. Double threat. We're attacking c6, but we're also looking at the king. That's why the king has to be moved from g7. And if black were to try to take, we check, double attack, and we win the game. So over here, there's nothing to do. Black is losing a rook. Therefore, it was very subtle, but in this position, the right move was to move the king somewhere, let's say on g8. Now you don't have any tricks. So we can see here, very nice trick, tactical vision by GM Nihal Sarin, who is only 18 years old. But let's check another game. In this game, we're also looking at some kind of London system, but now black goes for g6, bishop g7, and King's Indian or Pragg defense setup. Bishop f4, so once again, this is kind of a Pragg defense, but also kind of a London system setup. So now very important, what would you do with the white pieces here? We're on move 7. And here Nihal doesn't castle, doesn't develop a piece, but play e5. Now black in the game attacks the knight on c3. Another idea would be to take on e5. You would take back like that. And here you would probably continue the game like this. Probably try to move the bishop somewhere. However, in the game, before it's played, and now the knight moves, I personally think that here, black should try to take and continue the game like that. But here, no exchange, knight d5. So we go here, targeting the bishop on g7. Exchanges. And now what? If you notice in Nihal Sarin's games, we do not have castle. In all of these games, he waits to decide whether it's gonna castle short or long later on. We're on move 13. And here, feel free to pause the video, but I can tell you one thing, Nihal did not castle. And here he plays a tricky move, knight g5. Now, black in the game decided, because the bishop here is attacked, decided to retreat. Now, the right move here would be once again to take on e5. But the game will continue. And here, the game would be about equal. However, here, bishop f5 is played. Can you see why this is not a good move? What would you do with white here? And once again, no time for castle. Let's start the attack. The move is g4. And what is the follow-up? h4. Now h6 played, knight retreats on e4. So we have a very nice position, and this is what I don't like about black's position. Look at this. Black hasn't developed the pieces. And what about the king on g7? Fairly weak. Now finally, black takes on e5. We recapture, and here bishop e6 played. And from now on, this game is absolutely lost for black on move 17. Now, if black had played knight d7, just like in the game, we would see h5. Now, what was the right idea was queen c7 was the right move. Now, if you follow like in the game by h5, queen e5 attacks two pieces here. And that is the way to go. If knight d5, you do that, and this is a very double-edged game here. However, queen c7 is not an easy move to play, and black decided to develop a piece here. Now, h5. Now, we can see that if black develops, we simply take with a crushing attack, because we cannot take like that, and we're winning. So, in the game, because we are threatening to take, black play g5. But this is game over. White took here, check, another check, another check. And now, what would you do with white right here? And here, very logical, h4, h5, h6, sorry, played, trying to advance. So queen f8 defending the rook, bishop c4. very strong, putting some pressure. The king goes in a corner, and now g5. Black took on f2, and this is the final move. White to play and win. And here, beautiful, you don't even castle, g6, threatening g7, and you have a winning attack. There's nothing that black can do in this position, and black resign. So I think it's a very nice game, showing very deep understanding of the London system or the Pragg defense, and once again attacking with a king in the center. So high quality game, very strong blitz player. Nihal Sarin is definitely an up and coming grandmaster with a bright future. I hope you enjoyed this recap, and young talent, feel free to post comments, drop a like, and subscribe to the channel. This is much appreciated. Thank you.